Welcome to Classical 95.9 WCRI's Conducting Conversations with your host, Mike Mano. 1 hour of music and conversation with notable people in the arts, bringing you the stories of how music has impacted their lives. The show will give a behind-the-scenes look at the guest's background, interests, or special project.
Conducting Conversations is brought to you by Roberts Musical Instruments. From sheet music and brand name instruments to rentals, repairs, lessons, and more. Roberts Musical Instruments is your key to musical success. Call 823-5459. That's 823-5459.
And now here's your host, Mike Mano.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conducting Conversations. Tonight, it's an extreme pleasure to welcome back to our studios the world-famous, the very talented, the somewhat good-looking Eddie Dillon is here.
Hello, Mike.
It's great to have you back again. This is a long-standing tradition on Conducting Conversations for getting close to 20 years now. Eddie has been my guest on the St. Patrick's Show. So happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. That's tomorrow, and Eddie will be talking about where you're playing and what you're doing. Let's catch up a little bit and make sure that all of our audience understands that you're very famous.
I'm famous in Fairhaven.
Well, and more than Fairhaven. Eddie Dillon, if you don't know, was as a singer-songwriter, performer, and he has many recordings out, toured nationally or wherever with the Clancy Brothers at one point many years ago, and a lot of great stories from that. So we call you a prototypical Irish performer.
Oh, absolutely prototypical. It's proto is what I'm all about.
There you go.
Right, the proto diet.
You like that?
I love the proto diet.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned Fairhaven. That's where you're living now. You didn't always live in Fairhaven.
No, I grew up around Boston in the town of Braintree, and but I've been in Fairhaven. It's going to be another year. It's going to be 50 years in Fairhaven.
50.
50. Yeah.
And you're only 52.
It's amazing. I was in my diapers when...
Well, 50 years in Fairhaven, that's a long time. You should get a plaque or an award from the town.
Yeah. I think I'll put in an application.
Okay. Let's talk about the music. This is something that goes back, obviously, more than 50 years. To when you got started in Braintree, you said?
I did. I started around the Irish music world.
Somebody's calling in for a question.
Oh, I hope it's someone important.
All right, let's see. Hold on, I'll answer it.
Okay.
Mr. President, is that you? Oh, no, it's not. Okay.
He hung up.
I hung up. So go ahead. We'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
No problem. So I had been around the folk music world in the 60s, and then in the early 70s, folk music, all the venues sort of dried up. And a friend of mine said, we should really try playing some Irish music, because we're both Irish, of course. And so we started playing around in some of the pubs that were opening up, and I never looked back. I've been playing around the Irish music world and still the folk music world, but it's been an interesting trajectory, playing with some wonderful bands, the Shenanigans, a band called the Aliens, my friend Alfie O'Shea, and of course the Clancy Brothers. I toured with them in the late 90s, toured all over the United States and in Ireland twice. It was great fun.
Oh, and Ireland twice. And now you perform fairly regularly, or are a very good friend of Aoife Clancy, the daughter of Bobby Clancy, right?
Yes. Aoife and I, we were a duo back in the early 90s for a while. Then she went off to play with Cherish the Ladies and had her own career as a solo artist and playing with her friend Bill Elliott. And now she's coming back this March. And in fact, we just performed last night. We were in New Bedford at the Unitarian Church. That was a lot of fun. And we have a few more things lined up. We'll see.
Excellent. All right. Now, we're going to get to some of the places you'll be playing, but real quickly, for St. Patrick's Day, those of you that haven't made your plans yet, you might want to trek down to the Cape.
That's right. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Liam McGuire's Irish Pub. It's on Main Street in Falmouth. I'm going to be playing with my best buds, the Shenanigans, Tom Kennedy, Joe Zajac, and Kevin Zajac. And we're going to be playing from 5 o'clock on to midnight. It's going to be a long time, so come on down.
Well, do you perform in your pajamas for those kind of shows? When it goes to midnight?
I always perform in my pajamas. It's my signature thing.
All right, so check that out and get down there and listen to some great music. Speaking of great music, you brought a lot with you. What are we going to start with here?
Well, I thought about doing a selection of friends of mine, and we're going to start with Bobby Clancy and Aoife Clancy doing a song off an album that Bobby recorded at my studio, and it's called Hurry Hurro.
Hurry Hurro, my bonny wee girl. Hurry Hurro, my fair one. Will ye come away, my love, to be my own, my rare one? Smiling the land, smiling the sea, sweet is the smell of the heather. Would we be asking of life for more, my own, my darling Mary? Hurry Hurro, my bonny wee girl. Hurry Hurro, my fair one. Will ye come away, my love, to be my own, my rare one?
All the day long out by the quay, out by the shore in the gloaming, stepping it lightly with dancing feet, then we together holding.
Hurry Hurro, my bonny wee girl. Hurry Hurro, my fair one. Will ye come away, my love, to be my own, my rare one? After a life singing along, stepping it lightsome and airy, would we be asking of life for more, my own, my darling Mary? Hurry Hurro, my bonny wee girl. Hurry Hurro, my fair one. Will ye come away, my love, to be my own, my rare one?
There you go, little music to get you in the mood. And we're going to be listening to a lot more music tonight from Eddie Dillon. And Eddie, we mentioned that you're going to be playing with the Shenanigans tomorrow night, St. Patrick's night, into the wee small hours of the morning.
Yep, I'm sort of looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's great. So you've had a busy weekend. You played Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, and now tomorrow night you'll be in
down the Cape.
Down the Cape.
On Falmouth, in Falmouth.
And if you want to check all of those out, any locations that are upcoming, you can do so by going to eddiedillon.com.
Correct.
Pretty easy to remember. And check that out and catch Eddie. I know I'm going to do it. I might try to be there tomorrow night. That sounds like a fun time.
It's always a blast. They bring in marching pipe bands, dancers. It's really a festival in this pub. It's really a lot of fun.
Now, it's not R-rated, is it? I mean,
Well, you have to come and find out.
Okay. All right. What kind of music do you have for us next?
Well, we're doing 3 songs off of Bobby Clancy's album. Make Me a Cup is the name of the album. And this next song features Finbar Clancy, who, when this was recorded, was working with Bobby and I, and we were traveling
now that's
as
the son, right?
This is the son. Yeah, we were traveling as the Clancys and Eddie Dillon at this point, and we did this recording. But Finbar, this is one of his special songs. It was. A song that he would do if he was at a session. This would be one of the songs that he'd play. It's called Keg of Brandy.
I'm always drunk and I'm seldom sober. I'm constant roving from town to town. But I'm old now, my sporting's over. So Molly, a store won't you lay me down? Just lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For a while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking on lovely Molly from the County Clare. For the ripest apple is the soonest rotten, and the warmest love is the soonest cold. And a young man's fancies are soon forgotten. So beware, young maids, and don't make so bold. Just lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For a while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking on lovely Molly from the County Clare. It's youth and folly make young men marry and makes them tarry along the day. What can't be cured, love, must be endured, love. So farewell, darling, I'm going away. Just lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For a while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking on lovely Molly from the County Clare. Just lay my head on a keg of brandy. It is my fancy, I do declare. For a while I'm drinking, I'm always thinking on lovely Molly from the County Clare.
Eddie, we have time for one more tune before we take a break. What will this one be?
Well, it's actually not a tune, it's a poem. It's a recitation of a W.B. Yeats poem called Host of the Air. And you're going to hear a piper in the background. That's Pat Hutchinson, who's from Providence.
Okay, and this is Bobby Clancy, right?
Correct.
All right. We'll listen to that, then take a short break and be back with more.
O'Driscoll drove with a song the wild duck and drake from the tall and tufted reeds of the Drear Heart Lake. And he saw how the reeds grew dark at the coming of night tide, and he dreamed of the long dim hair of Bridget, his bride. And he heard, as he sang and dreamed, a piper piping away. And never was piping so sad, never was piping so gay. And he saw young men and young girls dance on the level place, and Bridget, his bride, among them with a sad but gay face. The dancers gathered around him, and many a sweet thing said. One young man brought him red wine, and a young girl white bread. But Bridget drew him by the sleeve, and away from the merry band to old men playing at cards with a twinkling of ancient hands. But the bread and the wine had a doom, for these were the hosts of the air, and he sat and he played in a dream of her long, dim hair. He played with the merry old men, thought not of evil chance, until one bore Bridget, his bride, away from the merry dance. He bore her away in his arms, the handsomest young man there, and his neck and his breast and his arms were drowned in her long, dim hair. O'Driscoll scattered the cards. Out of his dream awoke, and old men and young girls were gone like a drifting smoke. And he heard, high up in the air, a piper piping away. And never was piping so sad, never was piping so gay.
Eddie Dillon is my host. Not my host. I'm the host. I'm Mike Mano, the host of Conducting Conversations. Eddie Dillon is my guest on Conducting Conversations tonight. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. And Eddie, I mentioned at the top of the show that you've been with me since the very beginning, the very first St. Patrick's Day show we did. And here we are almost 20 years later, and we haven't missed one.
It's been a joy, Mike. Really.
Even during the pandemic, we kept it going.
It was amazing.
There we go, through the amazing technology that we had. And we've listened to a lot of Eddie Dillon's music over the years. He does have recordings available, and people can get them how, Eddie?
EddieDillon.com is the best spot to see them.
All right. And then from there they can purchase if they want or whatever.
Correct.
All right. You can also catch up with what Eddie is going to be doing and where he's performing. And let's get back to the music. And this show is Eddie's Friends, we're calling it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of old friends of mine that have and still friends over the years. And some people are playing music up in heaven. But it's still what a rich tapestry I've been privileged to experience as a musician with very talented and kind and lovely people. It's been I'm very blessed. And but we're going to start this segment up with a friend of mine, Bruce Foley, and his band called Guaranteed Irish. Bruce is one of the founders of the Shenanigans, along with myself and Tom Kennedy, and went on to play a very illustrious career both here and in Ireland. He's a great all-around musician, guitarist, whistle player, and Irish pipes. This is a song from his band Guaranteed Irish called Farewell to Nova Scotia.
The sun is setting in the west. The birds are singing on every tree. All nature seems to be at rest, but still there is no rest for me. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, with your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away, you're the briny ocean tossed. Will you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? The drums they do beat and the wars do alarm. Our captain he calls, we must obey. So farewell, farewell to Nova Scotia's charms. It's early in the morning, I'm far, far away. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, with your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away, you're the briny ocean tossed. Would you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? I grieve to leave my native land. I grieve to leave my comrades all, and my parents whom I love so dear, and the bonny, bonny lassie I do adore. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, with your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away, you're the briny ocean tossed. Would you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? I have three brothers, they are at rest, their arms lie folded across their breasts. But a poor simple sailor just like me must be tossed and driven on the deep blue sea. Farewell to Nova Scotia, you sea-bound coast, with your mountains dark and dreary be. For when I am far away, you're the briny ocean tossed. Would you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me? Would you ever heave a sigh or a wish for me?
Eddie, let's change gears at this point. We'll go into a different CD. Tell us about this one.
Well, this is another friend of mine who unfortunately passed a couple of years ago. His name is Paul Carter, and he started recording at my studio back in the early 1990s and went on to have his own studio, and it was rather prolific with the amount of traditional Irish tunes and that he put out. He put out, I don't know, probably 10 albums, a lot of them. And he also did a very interesting thing for you musicians out there. He invented his own stringed instrument, and he called it the Al sax. It looks kind of like a large mandolin, but deeper, and you're going to hear the depth of this stringed instrument when you hear this playing. And on this particular track that I selected, it's off his album called The Best of O'Carolan. Now, everybody knows O'Carolan was the blind harpist that created a lot of traditional tunes. And this is one of the more popular ones called Carolyn's Concerto.
Eddie, let's keep our St. Patrick's Day music flowing along. This next one, I believe, is with Aoife Clancy, right?
It is. It's off her album called Soldiers in Dreams, and it's a song that I wrote called Love to Do Over.
Okay, and if you want to check out Aoife, you can go to her website, which is spelled unusually for most Americans anyway. It's AOIFE Clancy.
Correct.
All right, check that out. We'll listen to this, and then we'll take another short break and be back with more.
Fall out of love, it's a lesson for fools. They don't teach you life in a classroom in school. Just wait one more day before you walk away. You may spend your whole life wishing somehow you stay. If I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute with you. If I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute. Your heart, I would win it. Your life, I'd be in it again. When you wake in your bed, you hold her so tight. Let her know how you feel and do what is right. Words you'll regret are more easy to say than, darling, I love you, I always will stay. If I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute with you. If I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute. Your heart, I would win it. Your life, I'd be in it again. But I'm just a beggar for you, with my heart held open, it's true. Spare me a dime of your love sometime, 'cause I'm just a beggar for you. And if I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute with you. If I had your love to do over, I would spend every minute. Your heart, I would win it. Your life, I'd be in it again. Your life, I'd be in it again.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I'm Mike Mano, very pleased to be sitting with the world-famous Eddie Dillon, celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And Eddie has brought some music with him, and we're calling it Eddie and His Friends. And you've been involved with most of them, either recording or performing with them, and we're going to keep that trend going.
Yes, this first selection is off of the Shenanigans album called Looking Out the Window, and it's a song written by Dick Lewis. And Dick is another fellow who's up in heaven singing songs, and he was a prolific songwriter. And he and his brother Tom grew up in New Bedford and Dartmouth. But Dick had the soul of the area. He embraced it, and he wrote several novels and a bunch of songs all about the South Coast of Massachusetts. And this...
Did he write Moby Dick? No.
No,
guy.
I was thinking about it.
Okay.
I was thinking about it, but I said, let that other guy do it.
Yeah. All right. So this song is written by him.
And it's called Rocky Old New England.
And performed by him?
By Dick and Tom and Joe Zajac.
New Bedford's where I come from, boys, where the factory whistle's screaming, and it's where I'm going back to die when my time comes to stealing. Where the winter's cold and the summer's warm, and the spring is full of feeling, and the autumn colors make you cry in rocky old New England. Way back in 1841, I shipped out on a whaler, 3 years before the mast made me a true and tested sailor. But long days on the ocean wide, and nights all full of dreamin', can't take the place of hearth and home in rocky old New England. Where the winter's cold and the summer's warm, and the spring is full of feeling, and the autumn colors make you cry in rocky old New England. The day our longboat did capsize on a wild Nantucket sleigh ride was the day I quit the sea for good and went back to the hillside, and there commenced to clear the land to plant a crop for money. But the ground was not of Canaan's land that flowed with milk and honey. So the bankers came to take the land, the two were much unyielding, and now I find myself again where the factory whistle's screaming. Where the winter's cold and the summer's warm, and the spring is full of feeling, and the autumn colors make you cry in rocky old New England. New Bedford's where I come from, boys, and now the bell is pealing. They'll take my bones and lay them down in rocky old New England. Where the winter's cold and the summer's warm, and the spring is full of feeling, and the autumn colors make you cry in rocky old New England. Where the winter's cold and the summer's warm, and the spring is full of feeling, and the autumn colors make you cry in rocky old New England.
Well, Eddie, you've warmed the cockles of my heart with an a cappella tune there. That's pretty cool.
I know some people who do a cappella. Maybe they might embrace this song.
I know. We might give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That was very nice. And that's something that Shenanigans still perform, I understand?
They do it, and I would have to say it's one of the most requested songs that their fans ask for. It's a very moving song. It's so well crafted, and I'm saying this as a songwriter. It's just a perfect example of a song about location and about emotion. It's a great song.
Tells a great story. It does. All right, let's get to a story about Bridget, I believe.
Well, the song is called Bridget Hart, 1918. I wrote it during the pandemic. And Bridget Hart was my grandmother. And right after my mother was born in 1918, my grandmother, Bridget Hart, died from the pandemic at the time. And the family reckons that she caught the the disease in Quincy Hospital where my mother was born, but we'll never know. But we missed having my grandmother around.
So all you people that are in Quincy Hospital listening to this, don't worry about it.
But it's I was speaking earlier about place. This is about the story is told about me, and it's a dream song about dreaming about my grandmother coming back to me. She goes down to the seaside, to Wollaston at noon, walks to the Black River, for the tide is changing soon. She writes her woes there in the sand, watches waves take them afar. Then she speaks to me in dreams at night, the ghost of Bridget Hart. I came here late from Galway, met my husband in Boston town, moved down to the Four River where the shipyard rules the town. Now I find myself in City Square, strolling up to Old Penn's Hill. I look for all the shipyard cranes, but they're not working still. Just a sea of cars, a museum, no ship there to depart. Just a line of long-lost workers, says the ghost of Bridget Hart. I've seen children chasing angels, round the fairy rings they play. I've seen curraghs off the Claddagh as the storm drove up the bay. Shared a cup of tea with loved ones, and we'd cry when they depart. Falling sails off the horizon, says the ghost of Bridget Hart. Then on the Ran I sang for coal, I dressed up in disguise. I braved the seas to bear you, fell in love with your blue eyes. Though I wander here without you, never meant our love to part. For it's you, my child, I'm missing, says the ghost of Bridget Hart. She goes down to the seaside, to Wollaston at noon, walks to the Black River, for the tide is changing soon. She writes her woes there in the sand, watches waves take them afar. Then she speaks to me in dreams at night, the ghost of Bridget Hart. I was traveling today from Fenway when I passed through Quincy town. I thought of my grandmother, 'cause she's laid here in this ground. If I could mend her bones, I'd raise her, she could hold me in her arms. Instead I'll meet her in my dreams, the gentle soul of Bridget Hart. Instead I'll meet her in my dreams, the gentle soul of Bridget Hart.
Great music brought to us by Eddie Dillon. And Eddie, I want to thank you so much for coming in, keeping the tradition alive for St. Patrick's Day.
It's been a great joy, Mike, and I look forward to this every year.
Every year. And we've done it other times of the year, too, as a matter of fact.
We have.
And you were here at one point where it was my 500th show, and you wrote a song for it and everything. What a deal. Now we're getting close to, we're very close to 1,000 shows, believe it or not. And you'll have to be on that one.
Oh, now you've got my brain churning already.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we had listened to some great music. I want to recap a little bit for people where you're going to be, and your website address is very simple to remember. It's eddiedillon.com. Check out where he's going to be performing. You can buy music from that site and all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, we're going to be actually opening up a store there that we're going to have some merchandise on with some of the animations. By the way, my animations on YouTube are still getting a lot of hits. I have 4 animations on YouTube, and we're going to take some of the characters from those animations and make some T-shirts and some coffee cups.
What a deal.
I'm a total entrepreneur.
I can get an Eddie Dillon coffee cup?
You just might.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to that. Then I'll give you a WCRI coffee cup and change.
I would just be so thrilled.
All right. We have one tune left. Tell us what this is going to be.
This is another song off the Shenanigans album. The album's called Looking Out the Window. The song is called Walk in the Irish Rain, and it's a great rousing song about, well, Ireland.
Well, that's a good thing for it to be about, since it's Irish music.
Exactly. Perfect for St. Patrick's Day.
Well, once again, we wish you all the best, Eddie, in your performances and all the appearances coming up. And we'll check in with you and see how you're doing. Maybe we'll have you back midway before the next show.
I would be honored, Mike. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you all next time on Conducting Conversations.
When the sun goes down o'er Dublin town, the colours last for hours, oh. Lights come on, the night's a song, and the streets all turn to gold. A gentle mist all heaven-kissed, like teardrops off an angel's wings. Don't you know you'll cleanse your soul with a walk in the Irish rain? Oh, Catherine, take my hand, we got 3 pounds and change. And I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. Forevermore I stepped ashore, my sailing days are over, oh. Time and tide are by your side, together we'll grow old. I threw my sea bag in the bend and brought these pretty flowers home. Kiss me, Kate, we'll celebrate before the bloom is gone. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, we got 3 pounds and change. And I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. And a tailor and a drunken old sailor, they all get together and start to play. Time stands still while they sing their fill, oh, shout to the break of day. Sweet little lady with a glass of stout, sipping it down till the foam runs out. She'll help her old man home again with a walk in the Irish rain. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, we got 3 pounds and change. And I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain. Oh, Catherine, take my hand, we got 3 pounds and change. And I'll sing you songs of love again, and when I get too drunk to sing, we'll walk in the Irish rain, we'll walk in the Irish rain.
Conducting Conversations was brought to you by Roberts Musical Instruments, using music and the arts to keep your child educated, entertained, and having fun. Roberts Musical Instruments is your key to musical success. Call 823-5459. That's 823-5459.